Hi everybody. So just waiting a few minutes for everybody to join in. Just hopefully this is all going good. I'm just going to check on my phone to make sure we all are before I start rambling. Here we are, we're on. So that's all. Let me just make sure it sounds good. All good. Sounds good. We're on. I'll put this on the living room so I can see it at the same time. Make sure it's all going smoothly. Right, we've got people coming in. So a bit different tonight. No demo, no hair. Just a bit of a chat. We've had a massively busy 2 weeks doing this. Can't believe we're on live number 12 already. Hello, Michael Convey. Hi, everybody. Hi, Charlie. But yeah, we've got a special guest again tonight. We've got Adee Phelan. I'm going to introduce him before I bring him on. But yeah, this guy was sort of like a massive part of my direction of where I wanted to go as a hairdresser and who I wanted to be. So I'm really grateful for him to come on here. Little will he remember, I don't even think I've reminded him of this, but he did actually let me interview him for a blog like 10 years ago. But it was my own personal blog, so I haven't really shown that one up to him, which I'm not going to tell you what it's called, so nobody can go and find it, because as you've seen from my post on here regular, I am terrible at spelling. So anyway, without further ado, let's bring the man on himself. Let's do this. Oh, I've gone into the bottom corner. How do we do all screen? Select all. There he is. Oh, there we go. Hello, Eddie.
How you doing, brother? You all right?
I'm all right. I'm good. How are you, mate?
Hanging in there, brother. Hanging in there.
It's been a funny time, hasn't it? Especially for the hairdressing world, the hairdressing community. But we've just seen 2 minutes ago the Queen's speech. We've just seen it's all changing. But yeah, I'll let you go on with that, because I think we might as well start on with coronavirus and how it's affected you and how it's affected the hair industry in general.
Well, I mean, I think for myself, it's just another challenge. I had it in 2007 with the banking crisis.
Yep.
I had it in 2015 when Brexit first kicked off, and then last year I had it again with us coming out of Europe. And so it's kind of like, for me, I've always kind of had to kind of progress and roll with my business. And we'll get on to this a little bit later, but that's why it's really important to say to your viewers that it's at these times is when you need to start planning. It's at these times when you need to start thinking, when the shops or barber shops or hair salons do open back up, how do I tackle that? Do I go back in with a full team? Do we do different shifts? Do we open up longer hours? You know, do we have standby stylists on standby in case we can't tackle the influx of clientele, which I'm sure will happen. And I think so for me, it's been the hardest part for me has been, I live in probably the busiest street on the planet. I live in Leicester Square. And the reason I live in Leicester Square is it's close to journalists and it's a nice central point, but it's the noise. I love the energy, the noise. I live on my own. And without getting too majorly deep, I do suffer from mental health. I do suffer with anxiety and depression. I have done for 30 years. So for me, living in the city in central London and not seeing a single person or a noise has been extremely difficult. And I must admit, I have struggled. I've struggled a lot. So that's why when the whole virus thing really kicked in, I thought, what am I going to do to medicate myself? And I thought to myself, I work from my apartment in central London anyway. I've got all my kit here, my mannequins, my equipment, my products. And I thought, I'm going to start doing some free education, because I think the people businesses will get hit, barbers will get hit, hair salons will get hit, blow dry bars will get hit. But the first people I thought of was the future, which is our assistants, our juniors, all those colleges, academies. So I thought, I'm going to start doing free education. Every day I'll do free education. It's been taking me 3-4 hours a day to do it. And it's kind of half kept me kind of busy and motivated, but it's still been a struggle. But it's been a struggle for everyone. It's been a struggle for the whole country, the whole world. It's the first time, I think, well, certainly in my lifetime, I'm 48, that the whole planet has come to a halt. And I think the strong will survive. Unfortunately, in business, there will be losers like myself. Everyone has this preconception of me, you know, product ranges and salons and loads of TV shows and working with blah, blah, blah and creating the whole, some of the Beckham looks and, doing the secret millionaire that I'm this multi-millionaire. I actually, now's a perfect time to say, whether there's one person listener or 100. I almost went bankrupt 4 years ago. It took me everything to stay going. And now with my new brand, Skinhead, I find myself, I was just about to launch this new funding campaign. And again, it's kind of hit me. So, but you know something, last week I said to myself, I'll always earn money. Once I got a comb and a pair of scissors, I'll always be okay. The main thing was my mental health and keeping strong, keeping positive, and sort of giving back. I've been quite a selfish hairdresser, if I'm to be honest. In fact, I've been probably one of the most selfish hairdressers in the last 15 years because it's been about me, 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 my shows, my salons, my ranges, my PR, my press. I'm a control freak. And for the first time, I'm thinking, you know what? There's more important things.
Well, yeah, I'm going to say that. I think, to be fair, I think that's the industry as a whole. It's quite a saturated market as it is. And we all have to be sort of selfish, and we don't want to be. But I have learned that sort of nearer the top, as I've come from, sort of like everybody else, and I've come from the bottom, and I've been so blessed to work with people of your caliber and meet them and things like that. And I've found that sort of the higher you get, the nicer the people become again. But that's just my personal. Personal thing.
It's the same with the whole celebrity world. It's the bigger the celebrity you work with, the kinder and nicer the people they are.
It's so true. It's same with we'll go into this later, but obviously my career, the sort of like the certain levels, and then there's the Premier League, if you will, and it seems to be the ones that you would say have made it naturally, seem to be the more blessed and nice to us. But I want to go back slightly because we talked about mental health. This is you're on your own, aren't you, in London at the minute?
Yeah, I'm on my own. My son's gone back to Poland, and obviously my family are in Manchester and Ireland and Birmingham. So I've been on my own, and I've been kind of adhering to the rules. I've literally seen 2 people in 19 days. So
no, yeah, well, I want to talk about that because obviously you suffered with that before. You suffered with your mental health before, and I want everybody to sort of like support each other in these times. And we're all on. The reason I started this was just to kind of give my mind something to do. Wasn't necessarily thinking of the whole world, but it was meant to. I basically directed it towards my friends in hairdressing, and then it's grown from there. So brilliant, even better. Brilliant. Yeah, amazing, even better. But I just wanted to talk that because obviously you've had some struggles before, and just making sure that everything's all right with everybody. And what would you advice you would give with everybody that has had their struggles or is having them now?
My only advice, I'm no doctor. I'm no doctor of hair, even though I've been doing some stuff with the NHS the last 2 weeks, which has been. I've been in hairdressing. It's my 23rd anniversary in November, and in 23 years, when I think of the success and what I've done and what I've failed at, because we always forget to mention the failures. This has been working with the NHS and doing some stuff with them has been, without a shadow of doubt, the coolest and most rewarding. So I've been doing 5-minute makeovers, 10-minute makeovers, not telling people how to cut your hair off and become professionals. We're the professionals. The people out there are the professionals. I've just been giving people tips on how to maintain the hair. So the correct message. And, I'm sending out 50 goodie bags to Watford General tomorrow. And then I'm sending out another 50 to Croydon Hospital and then St. Thomas's. And I've got a room full of stock here. And I'm going to maximize doing something positive and good for a change. I mean, like I said, I've gone through life living alone, being alone, sacrificed my relationships, marriage, everything for my sport, which is hairdressing and football. And this is the first time that I've not thought about the wealth, thought about my health, and try to say to hairdressers and barbers out there, I always put them in the same category. Years ago, the barber was known as the poor man's hairdresser, but not anymore. That the barber now has become king.
Yep.
And men are caring and spending as much on their hair as women are. And all I've been saying to barbers is, keep in touch with your staff. Staff, keep in touch with your boss. Keep busy. Buy a 20 quid mannequin head online. Buy one. Practice your sectioning, practicing techniques. Someone the other day said to me, any chance you could do a firefly or an inside out? Anyone who just know what that is? It's a very technical haircut that Sassoon created. And I said to these guys, the whole idea of me being on this platform is to keep the kids motivated, keep the students motivated, keep the nurses and the doctors be doing some tricks and, little quick cuts to keep them busy. I'm not on here to, be 80 scissor hands. That's what I do every day. So I think all we can say to people out there is keep focused, keep busy, keep motivated. Look at the areas of your business and your columns that were struggling before this happened. How can you get better at maximizing that? Go online, download as much haircuts and education as possible. Download as much business courses. Be looking. This is, something, social media has been my Achilles heel because I hate it. And people said to me years ago, with all the stuff you're doing and the TV stuff you're doing, you should be on Instagram. You'll have tons of followers and you'll be able to promote your business. Blah, blah, blah. I'm a hairdresser. I cut people's barnets. That's what I do. This is the time. This is the time. If there was ever a time for social media to step up, and maybe now something amazing will come for it. And I'm seeing that. I'm seeing Jamie Stevens last night and Adam Reed and all the other people you've got lined up doing this, given their time. And I think it's amazing. I think what we're doing for the NHS, and I'm looking outside, mate. If the sun was splitting the trees, there wasn't a single soul. We are listening. We're listening to social media. And I think now it's going to become a really positive thing. No more hate, hopefully, and no more bullying, and less people saying, you're shit at hairdressing, and I'm better than you, and I'm better. Hairdressing, by the way, forgive me for jumping shit. Hairdressing is all about opinion. Whenever I go to trade shows or hair shows, whenever I'd enter the British Hairdressing Awards, sometimes I'd win, sometimes I'd lose. I'd always shake hands with them. And hairdressing is just an opinion. I'm not going to come on here and dictate to you how to hold a comb and how to hold a section and how to do things correctly. My type of hairdressing is my opinion on how hairdressing should be done. But we all have an opinion. That's what makes the industry amazing. That's why we have the Angelo Seminaris, the Trevor Sorbys, the Nicky Clarks, the Lee Staffords, the Josh LaMonicas, the Dale Watkins, all these I could go on and on and on and on and on. There's thousands of us. And I think no one's right, no one's wrong. It's just an opinion. Where I do argue is with assistance and education, technique will never change. There's only 3 ways you can physically cut a piece of hair. Like this, or like this. Removal of weight, layering, building up of weight, graduation. We're working with a little sort of small shape like this. It's amazing over the years, the amount of new techniques and the new styles, but one thing will never change, and that's foundation. So I learned from the best. I went to Stafford's and then I went to Sassoon's. And once you learn the fundamentals and the foundation, 1,000 ways to decorate a house, 1 way to build it. Good foundation. So all I say to people when they're on social media is be as flamboyant, be as crazy, be as different as you like. But when you're directing a haircut at a specific audience, a young audience, think about technique. So
I want to take it back to the social media now, because there are a few comments coming in, and I'm trying to look without going straight up to my thing, but my eyes aren't the best. We got Becky Sutherland earlier who just said, basically, when you was going on about social media and the positives, saying, let me just find the comments so I don't read it wrong, but basically she was saying, oh my God, I've lost it. So many comments coming in here, by the way. I know you can't see them. So, yeah, so we are always looking for creating that perfect picture on social media, and we put so much pressure on ourselves. So that's obviously the opposite side of it. But this is from my personal point, and I'll ask you yours. But from my personal point, when I'm on stage, I say there are a million hairdressers. There are a billion hairdressers. I don't know, on Instagram, because that's our main platform. There are millions of hairdressers that can do what I do. I am nothing unbelievable, and I'm certainly not like up there with the elites. However, there's only one of me, and there's only one who's doing my story and my journey on the way. So going over to Becky Sutherland now, and to yourself, Adee, who says that you want to sort of invest more into it. I want to see you, Adee. I want to see what you're doing and who you're doing and your lifestyle. And I want to go on that journey with you, whether it's your ups or your downs. I don't really mind. I just want to kind of travel along with you.
Listen, about 5 months ago, I lost 3 people through suicide in the space of 5 weeks. One was a very good, 2 were very, very good friends, and one was a business partner. And I started posting some stuff on Instagram, and a few people start saying to me, "Oh, mate, I don't think it's a good idea you posting about your private life. And will this be good for endorsements with your electrical companies and your product companies and your celebrities and your TV shows?" And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Excuse me for swearing. I don't give a shit.
Right.
You know, my Instagram is probably the weakest Instagram in the country for a so-called celebrity hairdresser. 1, I haven't been on it long. Number 2, I don't do pictures or visuals for likes. I don't like people begging for likes. I've never done it myself. And my 2 companies have a massive following compared to me, my product companies, because I focus on the business, not on me. My social media is for me to talk about what I'm doing, whether it's good or bad. Like I say, it's been amazing coming on here today. And I just want to apologize to your viewers, because this platform was set up, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, it was set up for people to demonstrate their stuff and keep people motivated. The reason I didn't want to do a haircut today, I've done 6 today. I've got another 6 to do later. And I'm doing lots of different education with lots of different academies and colleges up in the country. And I wanted to come on here today and say, sometimes in hairdressing, it's not what you see, it's what you hear that can be more beneficial. Whenever I'm on a seminar or a course, which I still go to, by the way, I'll be listening to tricks, tips on business. And I always say to people, if you leave one seminar, you pick up one trick. And I still live by that. I just say to people, you know, don't be too bothered about building followers and having the biggest following. It doesn't interest me, it doesn't excite me. Maybe it should have. Maybe if I had had 1 million followers, which I should have by now, I would have been able to get my message out more. But whether I'm talking to you, just you, and there's no one on the watching us tonight, I'll still put the same enthusiasm and time into it. I'll still be motivated by what I'm doing. So I think we shouldn't be worried about how many hits do I get. Do I post that picture because it won't get as much hits if I post this picture? Not with me. I just think you have to, as hairdressers and creatives, you have to remember why we're all in this. It's for the art, it's for the buzz, it's for the achievement, it's for the awards, it's for the satisfaction of watching our clients leave the salon. It's the satisfaction of walking into a bar or club and someone coming out and going, "That's my hairdresser, and he did my hair." That's where I get excited. People always say about the whole celebrity side of it. I'm just another normal hairdresser. I was extremely lucky to work for a great brand, and then I did a set of pictures. I couldn't even afford to get them developed, so I sent in the Polaroids, and I won Men's British Hairdresser of the Year. I was hairdressing a year. And then
I mean, that's
6
just
nights.
fantastic. That I've heard this story before, and some
it's
people
a true story.
I know, yeah, because some people won't know this, and some people might be watching you for the first time. But I just want you to go back and sort of like tell it as the Lee Stafford journey and how you got to that point of being.
I was homeless.
Yeah, I want
I was
to.
Homeless, and Lee said to me, a guy called Martin Holmes introduced me to Lee Stafford, and Lee was this like kind of king of Essex, and everything they were doing was rock and roll and cool. I want to be part of that. So I became Lee's painter and decorator. In 1997, Lee got on stage and won Men's British Hairdresser of the Year. It was all televised. And he got me up on stage, and all the reports were like, "Who was he?" He's like, "He's me painter and decorator." And way back in the car, Lee said, "I want you to start hairdressing tomorrow. You've got everything it takes." And I was like, "Really?" He bought me a pair of scissors. A year to the day, I picked up Men's British Hair. The same table, the same awards. 10th of November, 1998, I did it. A year, 365 days of haircuts, changing my decorating clothes, going into Lee's shop and taking me through a haircut. I'd go to Safeways next door, buy the food. That was the deal. I could live in his
Safeway.
flat.
That's a flashback, isn't it? Safeway. We don't have
Yeah,
that around here
I could
anymore.
live in Lee's. I could live in Lee's flat and work in his shop as long as I got my models in without excuses. Excuses are for losers. And a year to the day I won it, and 10 months later I opened up my first business, Strange Ways of Buying Homes. And 3 months later, my life changed with the whole Mohican Beckham type scenario. And then 6 months after that, I was on TV. But it just goes to show you, I was in a fishing village in Essex. 1 minute charging 22.50, and 6 months later I'm charging 250.
That's
So
incredible.
it's not about how good you are, mate. It's
No.
a thing called luck. I had a bit of technique, not a lot. I learnt 2 haircuts with Lee. He said square layer, round layer, flat layer. Base, keep to the fundamentals. Learn those 3 things well, and you can get around what you're doing for the time being. So when I won it and I landed my first big endorsement deal, I was like, oh my God, I can't even bloody cut hair, Simon, properly. But I knew the basics, and I knew I was always a good finisher. I always had a good sort of eye for finish. And I built up, kept going on courses, and then obviously my life changed. But,
Well, let's go into that now because, yeah, I want to talk. Sorry for interrupting, but I just want to go into that. This is like where me and you met when you didn't even know who I were, and I knew everything about you. So basically, you did that Beckham haircut, the GQ haircut, and I actually, forgive me, but I've got it here as a picture. I'll just see if I can show that to people. Oh no, that's not the right one. Let's get rid of that one. Is it that one? Oh my God, where is it? No. Oh, I must have gone to the bottom. Hang on. Right, I've got it all wrong. There it is. Right, so I've got it up now. So this is the Beckham picture. Now, I'm a massive football fan. I've just ruined my whole bloody setup for the later on, by the way. I've shown everyone the pictures I've got lined up. But this is, you can't see it, Adee can't see this, but it's got the sideways Mohican. He knows the picture. He sent it me himself, the GQ one. And it's just, that image kind of like made hair in football something else. It wasn't just sort of like your platform for me anyway. It wasn't just you sort of growing as a hairdresser. This was the start of an actual massive point of football. This changed football. It changed everything as well.
it was. I had one opportunity. I got booked to do the shoot, and I turned up, and it was the Adidas campaign. Zidane, Raul, Batistuta were all there, and I'm thinking. So I pulled out my scissors, and I knew I had one opportunity. If I give him a trim, I'm just another hairdresser. So I pulled out my scissors. I was so nervous, my hands were shaking. Thankfully, he never noticed. So what I did, got to show you this.
As soon as you do this, I want to hear this. I've got a story for you. As soon as you tell this.
Now, the Mohican, or the Mohawk, as you know,
Yeah.
it's been going, I never created it. It's been going for 60, 70 years. So my philosophy was on the Mohawk, I wanted to do a softer version. So what I thought to myself was, I wanted to leave it a little bit baggy here. Obviously, I wanted it short for here and long for here. So I thought to myself, if I get my clippers and get my number 8, that's where your hair recedes, correct? And I just thought, if I just go bang, in one hit, bang, in one hit, I'm going to be left long here, short there, long here. And it was a 3-minute haircut. So I remember doing his hair and then kind of going, is that it? And he turned the mirror around. I turned him around and he was like, I love it. And it was a prime example of me thinking on my toes. I was so nervous. And then I created that haircut, like I said, in 3 minutes. And then we did a variation of that haircut. We start putting the bleach in it. And then I start banging off the sides, really aggressive, and doing the eyebrows and the scars. And, both David and Victoria basically saved my life. I had just opened up my first business. Things were tough. I was struggling. I thought I knew everything, which now, after all these years, me and Lee Stafford are in really good terms. And I kind of said to him, God, if I should have stayed long. He went, of course you should have. But that was a prime example of me thinking on my toes and thinking, what is a Mohawk? And I bang the 8 on, bang, bang, 3-minute haircut, diced into it a little bit. Week later, I had 250 reporters and press and blah, blah, blah. And then I must have won 200 awards to that one haircut. It was crazy. I did so many different looks, but it was this award and that award and the Fellowship Hairdresser of the Year, Image of the Year. It was just an amazing opportunity. I was given a golden opportunity, and I went for the juggler. I thought, if I trim this, give him what he's got before, I won't be booked again. I need to give him something, show my personality, and hope I get rebooked. And
it's a difficult one though, isn't it? Because there's a stress. People that won't know who I am, and if they are, they're only just learning about it.
Yes, they do, mate. You've got this platform, and you've got all these hairdressers together, not me. So
yeah, but
don't
I've got the
tie down yourself.
together.
The fact that I'm here, and Adam Reed's here, and Jamie Stevens, and all these other great celebrity hairdressers you've got are here because of you, so not because of me. So don't play it down.
I really appreciate that. But anyway, I've got a bit red now. But going back to the story, you said about you shaking when you did Beckham's there. There's only twice that's happened to me, and I'll only tell you one story of it. But I was in Russia, and I got there, and I've been there for 2 days cutting a few of the England team players there. And then there was one that I really, really wanted. People won't realise who it was. They go for the obvious names, your Harry Kanes, you think. But the one that I really, really wanted to do was Gareth Southgate. Now, at this point, at this World Cup, he was the gentleman of England, weren't it? It's like, I've done footballs, I've done this, but he was the boss. I really wanted to do it. And I remember, as you said then, I'm not going to take the story away from you, but I stood at the side of his head and I started trimming his hair, and I was fucking shaking like that. I thought, he's going to see me shaking here. So I went round the back of his head, and I never start my haircuts at the back of a male head. I start at the sides. I don't know why. That's just my habit. I can't tell you a reason for that, but I was shitting myself. So I was literally all over. And then there was people in the room, and they all started disappearing and leaving, and it was just me and Gareth, and I was cutting his hair. And honest to God, I can relate with that, because this is your moment.
But the second time you do it, I bet if you did it a second time, you'd be like, ding, 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 ding. Sometimes nerves is a good thing. You know, I had a similar situation. I signed a big deal with Babyliss years ago, and I was doing this world tour, and I was going on stage at the Mandalay Bay in front of 10,000 people after Vidal Sassoon, our king. He wasn't cutting, but he was saying a few words and presenting the team. And I remember going out on stage thinking, how can I compete?
Yep.
I'm this dude from London who's got a bit of a following in England because of the TV stuff, but in America, no one who had a clue who I was. So I thought to myself, I'm going to do the exact same haircuts as the boys have done, but I'm going to do it with clippers. So I was working in these really sort of high bobs, like banged up to here. I was cropping off the back and banging these big hard lines. I was leaving out a little disconnected panel, so it was flicking around. I was doing it in like 7 minutes. I always remember walking off stage and Tim Hartley and Annie Humphreys, who were the creative directors, going, "You pulled it out of the bag, son." And it was just, I knew I couldn't go on and do this after Sassoon. So I thought, what can I do that can at least... And I didn't want it to be a gimmick. I didn't want to be going bang, bang, bang with a pair of clippers. I wanted to be sitting in hard lines and working in sort of beautiful graduation. And sometimes in life we get opportunities. And I've seen 1,000 hairdressers, Simon, that are more talented than me. Fact.
Yeah,
Fact.
I say the same about myself.
Fact. But when it comes to standing on stage, I can hold myself. It's the same with the TV stuff. There's only been 11 TV shows in the last 25 years, and me and Lee have done all of them, bar one. And I always felt confident going into it, because with TV, it was kind of, you've got to be able to cut the mustard. You've got to be able to cut the mustard. But I always had a philosophy that was told to me many, many years ago, and I won't mention his name, but he said to me,
Oh, I think we've had a bit of a poor connection here. What's going down?
fine.
Oh, it's come back. You've come back. Hang on. Oh, we're doing so well, at all. See, I'm not this internet guru here, so I'm having to learn as I go. But bear with me a second, guys, and I'll see what I can do. I will bring Adee back in. Let me just try that 1 second, because we're using Skype today, if you can't tell, so that's one of them things. But yeah, going to the stories of, if anyone's got any questions for me, I'm going to try and read out questions as we go. But it's it's very hard for me to read the questions are in the corner of the screen. My vision isn't 100%. So I'm going to try and bring Adee back in through Skype as I speak to you guys. It says connecting, but bear with me a second. I'll try again in 1 minute. I'll give him a minute to sort it. It said he's unavailable. I'll give him a minute to sort himself out. But my dad's texted me. Let me just make sure I'm not doing nothing wrong. Can you see how much it's going well? Oh, my dad just said it's going well, so we'll blame him for this one. But yeah, so Adee talked about his sort of like drive and his thing. And that Beckham haircut for me sort of like propelled him to the next level of hairdressing. And I like to think that I can relate a lot with myself with the look that I've had in my career and the people I've met and a bit things like that. But yeah, get some questions in like that. That's a good one there, Kelly. Biggest regret. I think I have got right. Basically, I'll be honest with you all. I've got a script, and I think Adee in the first 5 minutes has gone through pretty much most of that script on his own accord. So it's kind of thrown my structure out of line. But my best friend Joe Redmond, who might be watching, he's basically a broadcast journalist, and he said, don't get too many questions written down because that's not how you work, you'll end up just basically going off track, and that's what's happened now, isn't it? But I think we've still not got him. But let me just. Shall we ring him? Shall we FaceTime it? This is live as it gets. So let's. I'm trying to hold my own because bear in mind I'm not used to this sort of world. But we'll ring him. This is exactly how my life has been. Call failed. I'm presuming his phone's gone dead. So forgive me on that one. Hopefully we'll keep you all in while we do this. But Adee's he's not a technology guy. He's been on the phone 2, 3, 4 times to me today, making sure that we get this right, that we get it bang on. So I need to just sort of let you bear with me while I try and correct this because he's very sort of concerned that this would happen and then it's going to happen. So I'm hoping that he forgives me for this. Oh, I lost my sound. Now where's my sound?
I can hear it.
I know, yeah. What advice would you give to someone? Tell you what, I'll try and answer some questions. I'll give him 5 minutes, and then if not, we'll have a break. We'll come back in part 2. But always text me, hang on. It's not connected. Put your Skype down and open. I'll be back. Yeah, so I'll give him a minute. So here's a good question. Does he still see Paul, the manager from the team? That's a good question. I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. Who else is there? Apprenticeships, Happy Chili. Let me connect my headphones back because his sound might have changed. There we go, it's ringing. Right, I reckon he'll come in now. Hello.
Hello, mate.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. I think we lost signal. But can you put your camera back on for me? No, I can hear you, but I can't see you. So you put your camera back on, and I'll put you onto the screen.
How do I do that?
Remember, there's a camera button at the bottom. So this is what makes it all authentic, mate. Can you see the button?
Oh, man.
At the bottom of your screen, there's the red dot to put the phone down, and there should be a little camera button next to it.
There should be what, mate?
There should be a camera button next to your off button when you're putting the phone down. I've got some good questions for you here, though. I'll read that while you try and do it.
Can we?
Have we got you not? How's it not coming in? Oh, there we go. There he is. I took a picture. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
You see me
Right,
now?
here we. Yeah, I can see you now. Bear with me. I'm going to bring you in, and then I'm going to bring myself back in. Right, so don't worry, everyone's still here. We haven't lost anyone. I've been entertaining them with tales of absolutely nothing. But yeah, I was saying that I had a script. Right, I'll be honest with you. I had a script. Got it here. I was like, right, these are questions. I'm going to go through it, and basically, yeah, we've covered all them in about 2 minutes of your opening sentence because everything I wanted to talk about we've already talked about. But I'm going to read out some questions for you, pal.
Yes.
So we've got. We're all celebrating that you're back on, by the way. So if you're saying love this, love this. I think they should all ring out and do the salon again.
Well, funny you should say that.
Who said that? Who said that? Let me find out. I think they should. Elise Bennett said that.
Last year, I had a couple of meetings, and there was a big. Ryland Clark was on Good Morning was saying, "Let's bring back the salon."
Yes.
To be honest with you, I'm all about moving on, but we have had a couple of discussions with various different TV companies, and it's certainly something they're definitely looking at to do a more modern kind of. Imagine having the salon. The salon was on for 36 weeks. It was getting 4 million people at 6 o'clock in the day. Bloody Bart Simpson nicked my job because they bought the Simpsons. But imagine it now with social media and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Imagine the kind of show it would be now. So I think it's definitely a possibility. I've actually shot a new pilot for something else as well, kind of like a Salon Nightmares type scenario.
I think they should do it. I'll be the receptionist guy, you know, the one on the reception that welcomes everybody. Don't do any hair.
You could be my assistant.
I'll be that, mate. I'll be that. I'll just do that, no problem.
I've got a new assistant.
I'm 5'4" anyway, mate, so I'll just pass your combs. I'll just say,
Wilson,
oh, yeah.
meet Wilson.
Anyone who don't follow him on social media, follow at Adee Phelan. I think it's Adee Phelan. I'll have a look for you. But yeah, he's been making his Wilson doll. But yeah, let's have a look at some more questions while we're going on here, mate.
Yes, mate.
Alexandra Clark, Adee, watching you on the salon made me want to be a hairdresser. I've never looked back. Thank you so much for being an incredible inspiration. That's Alexandra Clark.
Thank you very much, sister.
Jason Morehouse, you inspired me so much back in the day. Let me put this one up because it's a long one. You inspired me so much back in the day. I met you at Salon International by sheer luck. You took the time to talk to me, and I was starstruck. This made me realise we were all together in this industry. Thank you for sharing those stories with us today.
Nice one, brother.
Jason Morehouse. It's great to have your passion still. Adele Clark, what's yours? I've just done that one. Hang on, right, I'm going back on time now. Holly Trickett, who's a good friend of mine, she's asked, would you ask him what hairdresser is his biggest influence, or one of his biggest influences?
Wow, that's a very, 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 very tough question. The answer is just my opinion, by the way.
Yeah.
Tim Hartley.
Yeah, I like Tim Hartley. He's a good. He was same sort of thing as when I started following you. Following him.
Remember, I'm old guard, Simon,
yeah.
And a lot of your viewers are the young, cool breed of hairdressers that are Instagram cool. And it's the last 10 years I've had to kind of hang up the gloves a bit because I realise it's the same in hairdressing as boxing and football and music. 12 years ago, I couldn't walk down the street without getting stopped at least 50 times a day. And if it wasn't through the public, it was through hairdressers. And now it's a different type of thing, and people move on. And I'm the old guard, and I'm over the moon that we have the most amazing, talented, young, cool people out there. But I think Tim Hartley's number one. Dale Watkins, who was one of my teachers. And one more, I would have to say, Lee Stafford inspired me, believe it or not. Lee was the one that gave me the juice that I needed to become a little bit arrogant, a little bit cocky, a little bit, I had that arrogance about me. But when I started working with David and started doing TV, I was always a pie in man. I always say this, I was always a pie in man. And I thought to myself, I never really changed. I came across a bit arrogant on telly, but the fact of the matter is, I'll stop for anyone. I do free education. I do free courses. Sometimes people ring me or email me saying my daughter would love a haircut, can't afford it. I'll do it for free. I've never changed. I'll always be that type of a person. But
Not again.
I'll tell you a very, very mad story. Vidal Sassoon,
Yep.
who, again, in my opinion, is the greatest man, technician, and architect. He was an architect of hair to ever pick up a pair of scissors. And I had the pleasure of meeting him about 15 years ago in New York, 16 years ago, at a massive show, huge. And I was getting kind of like a lot of press and PR. And I remember grabbing him for a minute and I said to him, you're the most amazing. But he was like, well, he said, amazing advice. He said, don't be too keen to be obsessed and focused on one person and try to replicate what they do. Be yourself. And I was like, wow. And Alex,
I think we've got
I'm
going to try and let him ride this one out. Oh, I think we've got. I think this
funnily
is.
enough, 4 years later, said the same.
Anybody who's watching this now, speak. What's the saying here? Oh, it's a shame that, because that sounds like an unbelievable story. Everyone wants to meet Vidal Sassoon, and Adee's had the privilege of doing that. I'm going to cut him off. Oh, I think I cut him off then when I could hear him. Shall we try and bring him back in? But yeah, what a story that is. Who wouldn't love to have met? Who wouldn't love to have met Vidal Sassoon? It's trying to connect. 1 second, guys. He did this a minute ago. I'll text him now again. Well, that's a great question, that, Ollie. Absolutely. A few people on the comments also said that how good of a question that was. I want to look into the other ones. Does he still see Paul from the Star? I want to ask him that question, but as you can tell, once he starts telling me a story, I can't really get back in there. Who else have we got? I'm going to ask him to finish. Oh my God, there's so many questions. I need to get him back on, don't I? Let me just try again. Sorry, guys. I think it's his connection because I think mine's doing all right, if you can see. So there's a different dial tone when I'm ringing him. It just says connecting, so I think it's his signal at the other end. But we need to hear that story, so I am going to get him back for you guys. What else have we got here? Max Headrow, well on the HMRC, always stay humble, best way to be, kind as always. Amanda at Sax Apprenticeship, me too. And just reading them, by the way, some of these might not even be relevant. Never forget your roots, not just the ones on your head. Oh, I like that one. Well done, Kelly. Lee Stafford was my first two, made me step out of the box. Disconnect. Graduation. Shannon Lee, let's have a look at this one. Went on L'Oreal cutting course at L'Oreal with Tim. Sorry, I just read something else at the bottom. Cut the side, modeller's hair, told me something. Oh, I'll never forget. Oh, he's ringing me back here. Here he is. Can we hear you? I've answered it. Let's have a listen. See, people won't know this, right? But the online demand that what we're doing. Thank you, Elise. I've had to basically up my home internet. I've had to get a new router, a new thing because the bandwidth and all this lot. So just to make sure that when I do a live, it's providing. But obviously, not everybody's got these things, and I didn't even know I needed these things until we got to this point. But I can hear him. There he is. I can see him. I think he's taking pictures of me. Right, let me bring you back in. Sorry, mate. I presume it's the internet. Thankfully, we've still got a connection here. I think Eddie's just taking pictures of me at the minute. Bear with me.
Oh my God!
Just press. Here he is. Here he is. Don't press anything else. We've got him. Adee's got about 15 pictures of himself of me on his computer now, though, so you can have them, pal. Or you can put them on your wall.
I don't know what's happening. I've got full connection.
I don't know what it is, mate. It's, thankfully, we've still kept the stream running. It's all perfectly because I've got it live on my TV as we go. But people are desperately sat on the edge of the seat now wondering about this Vidal Sassoon story. Sorry, can you repeat that one? I think we're having a mare here.
So very quickly, I was in New York 15 years ago. I was about
Unfortunately, it sounds like he's drunk. There he is. All right, it's fade up now. We've got you back a bit.
What is going on, mate?
Yeah, we're on, we're live. It's happening. So, go on, 15 years ago. It's all I watch on the TV. So obviously I'm talking, and then you're just in slow motion next to me. So it's just one of them. It's live TV. We can't help it. But yeah, to go on, 15 years ago, Vidal. What he doesn't realise is he's still on.
Really? I'm going to listen to fucking you too.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, anyway.
And you give yourself away. Woo!
But the best thing is, none of that was actually cut out, mate. So we all got all that. So that was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we've got you perfectly. If you want to try that story again, but what I'll do is I'll say thank you very much for giving us your time now. And if it does cut off again, I won't bother you again. I won't keep ringing you back and annoy you again. But yeah, if you want to continue that story again, and then I'll do a couple more questions after that.
Yeah, so many years ago, I got to meet Vidal Sassoon himself, and I told him what an inspiration and what a kind of amazing architect he was. And he said to me, "Don't be too anxious to be obsessed and follow too many hairdressers. Be yourself." And funny enough, Alexander McQueen said the same thing to me a few years later, because I'm a huge McQueen fan. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all good, mate. Just reading the comment. People are loving this.
And McQueen, Alexander McQueen was I sort of modelled myself on the way he looked, the dirty denim shirts, the tartan shirts, the shaved head, the kind of, listen, he's an icon. I'm just a bloody hairdresser. But at the time, I got to meet him as well. And I got to meet him several times, actually. We had one day, we had this amazing buzz on Old Compton Street, and they're the kind of people that inspire me. Tom Ford, McQueen, John Galliano, Sam McKnight. These are the type of people that kind of inspire me. So I'm not too caught up in loads of hairdressers. I kind of tend to follow my own thing, if you know what I mean.
It's interesting that you said that, because I have read before about your interior design history, and obviously you're inspired by other designers, whatever creativity source you can find. It's always a different one with every hairdresser I ask, but we always end up evolving around the Vidal Sassoon trends. But let's have a couple of questions here, because I'll read out my questions and then let everyone else get the last chance to get their questions in, because one question I did read off somebody, I can't remember it where now, I bloody thought I'd remember that. Do you still see Paul off the salon?
Yes, I spoke to Paul 3 days ago.
3 days ago?
Yeah, I'm going out to New York when this is all over. I'm going to spend a couple of months with him.
Oh, well,
he's doing very, 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 very well out in New York.
Is he? Oh, brilliant. Well, that's interesting. I can't remember who asked that, but I've got the answer there. Couple of funny questions. Have you got any regrets with tattoos? Have you got any silly ones? Any ones that you did?
No, I never had my first tattoo until I was 37, 38, and I drew and designed my whole body.
Did you?
I've got a full bodysuit, and I had them all done in 3 years.
Wow. As a man who's had I started quite young with my tattoos, but I ended up getting to like that point of a wall where you just I can't do this anymore, financially and physically.
I kind of like the pain. I love the pain.
People commenting saying they love your taste in music. What?
Go on, let's listen to a bit more music, everyone. This is a fucking tune!
What else? Have you got any hair tattoos? What? I don't even think you can hear us now. I don't. To be fair, I think that might have been. I've asked a few questions myself, but I think that might be a perfect ending imagery. So I'll let him go on that one. Oh, press go now and he's just come back. But yeah, I'll let him go on that one. But there's a few questions I have asked him, so I can give you some answers there before we go. But I've asked towards any young hairdresser starting out. I can't answer that one for him. I'll let him do that one. But he is doing a lot. If you go to Adee Phelan's Instagram, he said he's doing a lot for his local colleges and things like that. So you might see him if he's just starting out now. Business advice on self-employed. I'm intrigued with this. I wanted to ask him this myself, but I don't know if any of you guys want to answer what your opinions are. But I was wondering if when we come through in our age group, we came through saying that self-employed was the way. You need to work for yourself, you need to own your own salon, etc., etc. Now I'm wondering if this time where this has happened, obviously the self-employed are the ones that are really struggling at the minute in getting their finances off the government and how they're getting it all in. I'm just wondering if this is going to sort of have a curve and we're going to go back towards the being employed. I don't know what your opinions are on it. I was going to ask Adee, but we'll ask yourselves. But I wonder if this will change the way that the businesses are run. In my salon, I like to do a 4-day week for my staff. So 4 days on, 3 days off. And that's completely up to them. If they want to do a 5-day, that's fine. But nobody picks a 5-day, wants to do a 4-day. Will we see a shift in that one? I don't know. Give me your opinions. But yeah, it's. I wanted to ask about Secret Millionaire. Don't worry, Adee. I can see you. It's all good. You've done amazing. Thank you very much. Adee Phelan's there. If you all want to say thank you now, you can see it. But what is Jay? We can get so. I kind of hope so. We can't get the employed staff. How are you coping, Simon? Thank you. Yeah, I've seen employed teams work better. Adee, I don't know what your opinion is on this, but we're asking about. Will this see a curve in because of people struggling to get the money together now with the self-employed because of the government giving 80% to employed and not to self-employed and last 3 years, etc. I think that this might see a trend in as a business owner, maybe getting more employed staff because as someone said there, I think it was Sarah, but let me just go back up, that they're struggling basically to get it. But yeah, thank you so much, Adee. John Anthony saying thank you. Holly Trickett saying thank you. She's the one who asked the hard question. If you want to take it out on her. Simon, I think we'll be so busy when it all calms down. Fascinating tonight. Loved it. Thanks, Adee. Yeah, this is a massive sort of, for myself included. I've spoke to Adee a few times over the years, and sort of this organicness and this roughness, and forgive me for saying certain adjectives, but this roughness and this sort of like raw side of Adee is kind of what inspired me, because I thought you had to be a certain type of person, especially to be a male person in the industry. You had to sort of like be fashion conscious, and you had to be this and you had to be that. And all I would like was football and hair, and I didn't really understand the culture of hairdressing at all. So when I found out what Adee had done and how he got there, I grew from that. Who I met, like the Tim Hartleys, it all become a ripple effect of seeing people like Adee. Hope the trend saying stylists being employed. I myself agree. Thank you. Thanks much for both of you. Yeah, it's good. And I hopefully we've entertained you. Apologies for the internet connection at the other end. It's not something that anybody can help at the minute. I think that the whole, especially London, interestingly, the last 3 have all been in London, and they've all been a bit poor. So maybe it's the London sort of thing. Who else? Let's go again. 5 more minutes. Right, okay. Who wants 5 more minutes of Adee? You have to comment yes, and I'll try and get him back on. There you go. 5 more. If we get 5 more yeses, I'll do it. Got a comment yes, and I'll bring him in. If you can get 5 more yeses. Here he is. Yes.
Hello, mate.
How are you? So I've asked if we get 5 more yeses, we'll do it. I think we've hit 5 in about 5 seconds. So hopefully you can hear me here. I can hear you. Everyone can hear you now. So even if we can't see you, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Here he is. His camera's on. He's all raring to go. Let me put you back on the big screen. I'm learning as I go with this, by the way. This is a new app because of I've never done. There he is. Bang. You're on. Big screen. Can you hear me? Oh, I think, have you pressed mute again, mate? You did this earlier on the test run.
Mute. There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a bit of a delayed reaction. I got to show people how crazy it is living in central London. Wait a second.
what am I looking at? Look at that. He was showing me this earlier in the daytime, and it was exactly the same. There was nobody there. It was just derelict.
This little buzz tonight on the phone, even though I can't see anyone or see the stream, it's been a great buzz, mate. I've really enjoyed it. Like, really enjoyed it.
Do you know what? What you're saying to me, I'm getting this sort of like my messengers are going off all the time of everyone who's watching this, just constantly from yourself to the previous videos. And what's interesting is I'm getting as much interaction and as much feedback from the people that are just friends that I've asked to come and showcase their thing. Like I've got friends that are good at updos, but they've never been on a telly or a stage before, saying, "Look, mate, I know you're good. Can you come and do this for me?" And they're getting as much love and support as what sort of like the bigger names in yourself and Jamie and Adam Reed have all been getting. So it's good to see.
Mate, it's to finish up briefly, I just think we all got to do our bit. We're all going to be back to work sooner or later.
Yep.
We gotta plan for reopening our businesses. As like me, I'm online, so I have to restructure everything. We have to hang in there. 80, 90 years ago, there was a war in this country. Some people won't be around for that. And we had a blitz, and there was people starving and hungry, and there was kids being taken away around the country to being fostered. And this is not the end. This is not the end. This is the beginning of something, I think, special. I think we'll come out of it stronger. We'll rebuild the businesses. We'll make up for loss of earnings. We'll have to work harder. We'll have to invest more time. But I think the only thing you can do, mate, like Winston Churchill once said, it's a great line. It's one of my favourites.
Go on.
Success is measured on the ability to move from one failure to the next with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And it's I've always had that motto: the first man over the wall always gets a bloody nose. Be the first. When I was doing my interior design and when I first started getting into hairdress, people say, you can't do that. I was like, why not? I'm going to do it. And I just think that we have an amazing network of hairdressers and barbers. I'm certainly going to be logging onto your platform for the next person. Sorry, mate. And I think that we should do this weekly.
Well, funnily you say that, mate. We've had a comment here, and I have just tagged it. I don't know if you're watching this, because that's bizarre if not. But Charlie Brennan has just put, she said, every Sunday we need Adee. Like,
I'm going to do every Sunday. What do you reckon?
Sunday sesh. A Sunday sesh with Adee.
I think we should do every Sunday. Next week, I'll present some hair. I think I'm going to do my top 10 music tips. I've got a new dartboard. Wait a sec.
It's a day. Yes, I agree. I really like to look at that dartboard. Bless him. That was a gift, wasn't it?
I got a gift. I got a new dartboard. I got loads of food. I got a few bottles of wine. I got my music. And you know something? I'm going to maximise every second of every day being locked up. And when this is over, I had just launched my new education website. I'm just about to launch a new brand, and on top of the Skinhead brand. And for me, it's going to be tough for me as well, mate. I want everyone out there to make this is the key thing. I'm not in some ivory tower. My business is struggling. I'm going to have to pull every bit of resource to come out of this myself. So we're all in this, whether whether you're in a little barber shop with two barbers or you've got a chain of hairdressers and barbers. We're all in this together. We're all struggling. We're making no money. Spend as much time with your family, with your kids. Use this time wisely, because before you know it, we'll all be back to work. We'll all be moaning. We're tired. We're worn out. So let's maximize this time. Be positive with it. And before you know it, we're all going to be back to work, kicking ass, making money, creating stuff, doing the awards. And it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right as long as we all don't take liberties. And that's what I'm doing. I'm spending the next 6 hours tonight working on some education for the NHS. And then I'm doing an online education seminar, which is going out Wednesday to my private. But like I said, I'm not here plugging anything I do. I wanted to come on here, have a mad little chat with you, me and Wilson.
Yeah,
and, you know, to all those people out there, you just got to keep going.
Mate, I've got to read the comments because you can't see this, but it is going comment after comment after comment at the minute. Self-care Sunday sesh. People are naming what Sundays with Adee are going to be called, by the way. Appreciate this moment. Sunday sesh with Adee, wine and hair. Self-care Sunday sessions. At home with Adee, hashtag. What else is there? Yeah, I'm buzzing. Actually filling up Alexander Clark. Good for you to enjoy you. My dad's text me. My dad just texted me. He texted me saying he's a Liverpool fan, my dad, so he's buzzing for you because he didn't know you were. So he's buzzing that you're a Liverpool fan. My mum is support. I could listen to him all night. Definitely Jackie Sunfish. Super Sundays. Call it Super Sunday. We can't take that one though. Sky Sports have got that. Sorry, lads. Yes to the sesh. Who doesn't love a Sunday sesh? And mate, it's just going on and on. I can't keep up with it.
Mate, you know something? You know what's brilliant? It's unlike anything I've ever done before. We have to do a stage show on for 40 minutes. I have to do a pilot for the one show. I've got a 60-second segment to get beginning, middle, end. Great thing about this, it can run over a little bit. Who cares? If people log out or log in, it's all gravy. Like I said, for me, mate, this has just passed another amazing. We've been on an hour.
Yeah.
And it's been a good hour. It's been a fun hour. And I think what we should do is every Sunday I'm going to pull out some more. Bit more music. Let's talk football. What a tune, mate. What a tune.
So if anybody doesn't watch this and understand why I ended up getting into hairdressing after listening to what Adee's about, this is exactly why I got into it. I was an 18 to 20-year-old area watching this. But, yeah, this is exactly why I got into it. What else was I going to ask you then? I've gone completely off track, mate. But I did say we've been speaking to Adee. I've been speaking to him for a few times this week, and I've said I ain't no broadcast journalist. I don't want to take the piss out of people that are broadcast journalists because it is an art form, and I don't know how to do it. I just want to be two lads chatting, sat down as if we're in a bar and everyone's here with us. And
you're doing a great job, mate. You're doing a great job. This whole platform, like I said, I'm not very techy. I want to pick your brains because everyone keeps saying to me, wife, and I got a YouTube and a Facebook channel, all this. It's all new to me, but I think you're doing a good job. You're doing it for unselfish reasons. You're not getting paid. You're not getting sponsored. I think it's a good thing, mate. And that's the thing about our industry. There are some bitter, twisted people out there, but majority of our industry, they ain't bitter. They ain't twisted. They want to see people do well. They want to see people move on. When I see something good, I say it. If I see an amazing haircut, I'll say it. If I see something I don't like, I'll say, I don't like that, mate. But that's just my opinion. And I think we're in an industry where, like I said, no one's right, no one's wrong. It's all about opinion. But be gracious, be kind. You know, when somebody does something good, say it. I always say it. I'll stop people on the street and say, mate, who cut your barnet? It looks cool, man. And if he says Travis Sorby or someone at Nicky's or Anti-Muscat, whatever, I'll be like, wow, amazing. This is an amazing industry and we're a strong industry. And I think things like this, whether it's broadcast to 50 people, I guarantee you by the end of this virus, Simon and Adee's Super Sunday, mate, it's going to have thousands of hits. We're going to be kicking out tunes. I might try and get one of my, I was going to say invite around a couple of cool cats.
Yeah.
But you know something? It's fun. It's creative. It's cool. I could have stood here tonight and did a little haircut or a little blow dry or a little. I was like, next time I'll probably do some hair. But today I wanted to have a chat, mate. And you know what? I do hundreds of 365 courses, and I do lots of business courses where I turn up and bosses will say, motivate my team, put some life into them. And this is what I do for a living. I have a laugh. You have to have a laugh, but you have to be very serious about business. I seen some of the questions when we got cut off. And next week we probably will, if we do next week, if you want to do it, we should tackle a bit more business side of things, how I think we can get people back in the chair and how to maximize them. But I think, you know something, I watched something last night. I watched Jamie last night. I took a little something from him. I listened to Adam Reed the night before or the week before. I took something from that. We can all take something from it, from everyone. And I just think that, you know, the industry, it's an amazing industry, mate. I've had 22, 23 years of it. I'm coming to the last. If I hadn't have almost gone bloody bankrupt 5 years ago, I would have been retired by now. But I'm hanging in there, mate. I'm going to be around for a little bit longer. And I just want to say that the young generation of hairdressers, you included, because you are the new guard, it's forget about what's gone before you. Yes, pay your respects to the old guard, but move forward, start a new buzz, be the new you. And now and again, we all can look back and go, wow, that kid used to kick ass. But this is your time. This is your viewers that I've noticed are all very cool, young, sort of, you know, obsessed with creation. And I think you guys are the new guys, and I'll be following you guys. And I think that we all have our place in the sun. I had my little spot, and it was a beautiful journey, brother. Let me tell you that.
I've seen your salons and they've been incredible. Anyone who hasn't seen them, just Google his out of salons. They've been unbelievable. But I've got a question for you, Eddie. Then.
Yes.
On Wednesday, I've started it just by pure off the cuff. Don't know what I'm doing with this. Just growing, learning as I go. And on Wednesday, the last 2 Wednesdays, I've done a little sort of competition for Wednesday challenge. It's just a simple. I might need to rebrand that and get a name for it. But it's just a Wednesday challenge, and I basically say, everyone enter your imagery of what is your best vivid in the salon. Not professional photo, just in the salon, what's your best vivid. So on Wednesday, I'm going to do what's your best before and after. So I want to see the before picture and the after picture next to it. I will whittle it down to, say, 10 pictures, and then if you want to pick the winning one.
And I'll give them a 250.
You don't have to give them anything.
No, fuck it. Let's you gotta inspire people. Let's give them. Let me give the winner a £250 goodie bag. How's that?
That's unbelievable, but that's on you. This is basically, I'll just put a sticker on it saying, well done, you've won an award, but we're not doing no. So I'm just trying to inspire people to keep going.
If they send in some pictures, me and you will go through them. We'll pick a winner, and the winner can get a really, let's make it a £300 goodie bag and one of my first courses.
I'm going to enter it here.
Well, you know something. People will want to send in pictures because they want to, but let's get all the young cats involved. And as soon as they know there's money on free courses and free products involved, they might be more eager to get involved. Because listen, it's all about growing this platform for you. I think this platform's really cool. Actually, it's one of the coolest things I've seen on social media. It's so madness. I'll be there if you want me on Sundays, mate. And let's keep the buzz going.
I'm going to speak to my mate Joe, who's the broadcast journalist that I said. I've got to see how we can make this even better. See if this is going to be a Sunday session, then we need to sort of.
Mate, listen, come on, brother. We're going to turn this into next week. I'll have my dining room table in the middle. I'm going to have a sirloin steak, a nice bottle of red. I'm going to have my top 5 tunes. I'm going to bang out a cool little haircut in about 6 minutes max, something cool. And before I go, what a tune, mate. It was on the telly. What a fucking tune.
On that note, Eddie, I'll let you go. I'll let you enjoy your evening, and I'll thank you so much for your time, mate. Everybody's loved it. I can't even read out the thing. I'll post it on YouTube afterwards if you want to go through and read the comments if they're on there, or go through the Facebook afterwards. But yeah, Absolutely. Have a read through, mate. There's a lot of love coming for you.
Nice, Lay. Listen, man, appreciate it. Let's do, let's do next Sunday. Let's do next Sunday for an hour and a half. Me and
Yeah?
you. Let's kill it.
Right.
I'll bring something different every Sunday. Be something different.
Well, I said
Let's
I
do
didn't want it
something.
to be professional. I wanted it to be more like, so, like, my beers are ready. We'll get some more out next Sunday. We'll do it.
Listen, God bless. Look
You
after
too.
yourself, and good. Be safe, you and the family, brother. And well done, you. This is
Thank you,
great what
sir.
you're doing. And I'll see you all soon. And thank the people that did tune in for me personally. And tell them to keep an eye out for my NHS videos I do every day at 7:30.
Yeah, I
Support
will
it.
do. I will do.
God
Everyone who
bless.
doesn't follow him now. But thank you very much, Adee.
See you later, bro.
Bye bye. Bye. Oh, hang on. I can't cut you off here. I've done it wrong. There we go. He's gone. So, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I won't rattle on because you ain't come to watch me. You come to watch Adee. How do I get me back on here? Click on that one, I think. Because all you guys are commenting so much, you're blocking the bit where I could do the screen block. So yeah, but I want the comments to keep them coming. But thank you so much, everyone, for watching. It's been something else. I've never done it before, so hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've even given me an excuse to put a bit of a nice attire on today and do my hair. So thank you very much for joining us. See you soon.